If everything is permissible, is a person allowed to kill for the so-called greater good? This shocking question is not only at the heart of Dostoevsky's literary work, but also a philosophical duel that once literally took place in a Siberian exile camp. In that icy world of prisoners, the literary giant Dostoevsky and a young political prisoner named Peter engaged in a conversation about the boundaries of human reason beside a feeble fire. Peter looked Dostoevsky straight in the eye and challenged, "If there is no God, if morality is only a human convention, why can't we sacrifice others for the greater good?" Dostoevsky thought deeply for a moment and replied, "This is precisely the danger of purely rational thinking. If morality is merely a calculation of interests, then any atrocity can be justified by utilitarian logic." Young Peter couldn't help but ask, "And what alternative can you offer? Could it be faith, an assumption with no empirical basis?" Dostoevsky calmly but firmly explained, "Reason has its boundaries. It can analyze phenomena, but it cannot touch the essence of existence. Consider this. Can reason explain why pain exists? Pain is not just a biological response. It is the core experience of human existence. It is through suffering that we can understand the value of compassion and find the possibility of redemption." "Redemption?" Peter questioned with a shake of his head. "That sounds more like a religious concept than a philosophical proposition." Dostoevsky's eyes gleamed and his voice was firm. "No, it is the truth of existence. When man acts on reason alone, his existence is severed. Reason is separated from emotion, and spirit is opposed to body. This division is the very source of modern man's suffering. True freedom is not freedom from all constraints, but a conscious choice of moral behavior in the recognition of one's responsibility and connection to others." Peter asked thoughtfully, "Are you saying that the limit of reason is its inability to justify why we should care about others?" "Precisely." Dostoevsky nodded in affirmation. "Pure reason can argue for self-interest, but it cannot prove why we should love others as ourselves. It requires a realization that transcends reason, an intuitive understanding of human nature. Each of us is both an individual and a part of the whole human race." Peter continued, "So, do you think that morality is not the result of reasoning, but a state of being?" Dostoevsky spoke slowly. "The foundation of morality lies in the recognition that every human being has infinite value. True sin is not the violation of rules, but the denial of the essential connection between human beings. True repentance is not just an admission of guilt, it is a reawakening of human nature." After a few moments of silence, Peter asked the most crucial question. "If humans truly have this essential connection, why is the world filled with suffering and disconnection?" Dostoevsky took a deep breath and replied, "It is the price of freedom. We can choose to recognize this connection or deny it. Reason can justify any choice, but it cannot give us ultimate meaning or salvation. When we judge the world by reason and calculation alone, human beings are seen as numbers and tools. But it is in the experience of beauty, in unconditional love, that we see the full value of the human person. Beauty gives us a direct sense of the meaning of existence, and love allows us to break through our individual isolation and reconnect authentically. This is not something that can be calculated or proven by reason, but it is a truth that must be directly experienced." "Are you saying that salvation comes from an experience that transcends reason?" Peter asked softly. Dostoevsky's gaze grew bright and determined. "Yes. In my novel Crime and Punishment, through the unconditional love of the prostitute Sonia for the criminal Raskolnikov, he finds moral salvation. In The Brothers Karamazov, through the faith of the young and innocent Alyosha, the rational skepticism of his older brother Ivan finds spiritual balance. Reason by itself cannot resolve the contradictions of existence. Only through the experience of love, through the direct feeling of beauty, can we transcend these contradictions and find our complete selves. What will ultimately save the world will not be logic and calculation, but the experience of beauty and love in the human heart."